What's going on, PMPBeta? This is MikeDecIsHere, and I'm bringing you a narrated 4th Gen OU Wi-Fi battle against SexyMilotic for the win, who is a fellow friend of mine from TPX chat room. It's quite the doozy of a battle, so I hope you guys bear with me, and let's get started. Starts off with Ninjask. I start off with Heatran. Don't want to over-predict and let him get up a sub or anything, so I'm going to go straight for the Fire Blast. Ends up missing, but it really doesn't matter because he brings in a Bliss. I know really Bliss can't do anything to me besides paralyzing me, so I'm going to get my rocks, and he goes for a Calm Mind, and I'm like, oh, that's so 3rd gen, but it's kind of cool. I'm going to go to Breloom, predicting he might Calm Mind again, just because he can't really do anything at this point, and I'm going to get my Toxicorp and threaten him with a Spore. I don't want to sub because I know he could break my sub with anything. It's really just a waste of a turn, so I'm going to go straight for the Spore as he brings in his Gyarados, which is going to intimidate me, and by judging by the name, I'm assuming this is one of those Rest Talk Gyaradoses, which it ends up actually being, and that Intimidate's actually going to be a huge pain in a little bit. So he's off to sleep. I'm predicting a Sleep Talk Roar, so I'm not going to set up a sub. I'm just going to go straight for the Seed Bomb because, you know, if I sub and he gets Sleep Talk and he gets Roar, then I lose HP and I look stupid. So I'm just going to keep going for Seed Bombs. Honestly, he can't really do anything to me besides Waterfall and Roar, which is what I'm predicting his set to be. And even if he gets Waterfall, it's really just because it's bulky, it's not going to do too much. And if he roars me out, I can really threaten him with everything else in my team. Even at that health, it's really not too threatening. It's threatening, but not too threatening. The only thing that really gets hurt by it at this point is probably Heatran. I'm going to go for a Seed Bomb, and he's going to get a little bit of unluck here. He's going to get the 3-turn sleep, which is really just going to hurt, which means that I'm going to be able to take him down with Seed Bomb this turn. But so 3-turn sleep kind of sucks, but it's average. Sorry to that it happened, but I mean, it really isn't going to make that much of a difference in the battle. You guys will see later in a bit. So he brings out Ninjask now, and I'm predicting him to sub, so I'm not going to let him get up a free sub. I'm going to go straight for the Focus Punch, even though I don't have a sub of my own, because most Ninjaks tend not to carry an attack move. So he goes for the sub, I use Focus Punch, it's going to easily break that thing. And at this point, I think that he might set Protect, because a lot of Ninjaks like to sub Protect in 4th gen, so I'm going to go straight for a sub, but it turns out he goes, I guess he was predicting me to predict Protect, I have no idea. Or he might not even just have it. But I'm going to go right for I go for a sub, predicting Protect. So that kind of really hurts, because now he's going to be able to pass off a sub to whatever, and I can't get a free hit off of it. So I'm going to Focus Punch because I can, really. Nothing's going to want to take it, unless it's like a Ghost, which would completely roll me. But I don't think so, because you don't really pass plus attack to a Ghost Poke. And he ends up bringing an Evire. And at this point, I completely forgot about the Intimidate. So I'm like, cool, I'm just going to focus. Instead of doing the smart thing, which would be to Spore this thing to sleep, I'm going to do the stupid thing and go for a Focus Punch. And it ends up, because I'm Jolly and not Adamant, this is not going to kill. So I'm looking at a +2. I'm looking at a +1, +2 Evire in the face. I'm assuming it's Expert Belt, and I'm just like, well, that sucks. I got a Suicune maybe thinking it might be Life Orb, but judging by that damage, it's obviously, or maybe even, it wouldn't be Banded. It was just to see if I can kill itself with Life Orb, but that's obviously Expert Belt. But I know I'm max HP, max defense, so I am fairly confident I can live this hit, even if it's barely. So I go for Surf and see if I can live, and I live with 28 HP, which is fantastic, because I can get the Surf off and take out that Evire. But now Suicune's pretty much useless. I'm going to basically have to leave it in as death fodder to whatever he brings it. And he ends up going into his Jirachi, and that's going to take me out with a T-Bolt, which, I mean, it sucks that I lose Suicune. I really love this thing, but at the same time, I scout out this Jirachi set, and Thunderbolt usually means Calm Mind Jirachi. So good thing I still have my Heatran, because Heatran walls Calm Mind Jirachi for days, unless it's a Super Rachi. Here I'm predicting the Blissey switch, so I go out to Breloom, but he makes a great prediction and goes for the Psychic, and that's just gonna completely roll me over. So there goes Breloom, and that kind of sucks, because now I don't have anything to sleep his pokes with. I'm going to go out to Flygon to threaten with EQ, and At this point, his Ninjask is almost dead. I don't know if he has anything else that resists it, but I don't want to really risk not doing it. So I'm going to go. I think I've seen all of his pokes except his last. And here's his last one. It's Empoleon. And I'm thinking that Earthquake's going to KO. So I go straight for it. But it turns out this thing is physically, he said it was bulky. It might be physically bulky because that still does a ton. It might be, I think it's especially bulky. But even though he has no special attack investment, this Ice Beam is going to easily kill me. So I lost Flygon. It really sucks. But at the same time, I don't really, he got a crit. Didn't matter. But at the same time, Flygon, I don't think it could have taken out the Bliss. It would have been nice for Jirachi, but not. I still have Heatran. I'm still not really in too much trouble, but I'm in a little bit of a tricky situation of how I have to maneuver my pokes around. I figured going into Gengar would be the best thing, so I can just revenge kill it and just figure out what he wants to bring in against it. And I was really hoping he'd bring in Bliss, but he brings out his Jirachi. So I'm going to go right to Heatran, who could wall this entire set. And now I'm just really going to go for a Fire Blast because that's what I want to do. I mean, I basically just don't want to risk this thing setting up on me, or him possibly having Hidden Power Ground if he is Super Rachi, even though you really don't see it nowadays. So I'm going to go right for the Fire Blast, and he brings in Bliss. Obviously, it's a safe thing to do. But now I'm going to go out to my last poke, which he hadn't seen. It's a physical Taxing Jirachi, which, if you guys call me a nub, I don't really care, but this thing actually really fits in with my team synergy, because Paralysis really helps out Suicune and Heatran if Heatran's still alive. Really helps to take out pokes like Alakazam easier. So it's very nice to have on the team, and Power Flinch is just nice to have anyway. So I set up a sub, thinking he might have T-Bolt Ice Beam, but he turns out to have Flamethrower. So that really sucks. Now this Jirachi really can't. It can hurt it, but if Blissey doesn't get flinched, I'm gonna die. So I'm gonna go straight for the Iron Head, not wanting to risk the T-Wave and not getting the first turn paralysis. And I'm praying for the flinch. I'm just hoping that he flinches, and he does in fact flinch. This is great because now I can hit him with another Iron Head. And this means that if he does kill off my Jirachi, then Heatran can revenge kill it, and I can finish the Jirachi, which is great. But now he brings in the Jirachi. So I'm kind of confused because I don't think that a T-Bolt will do that much to it. This Jirachi has a pretty good amount of bulk invested into it. So I am going to go for the Fire Punch because I do have it. And here he shows me his Hidden Power Ground, which means this is in fact Super Rachi. It could be Fire. I think it's Ground, though. Ground makes more sense. And he goes for Hidden Power, and I can't bring in Heatran now because I don't want to risk this thing being Hidden Power Ground and me losing my Shuka. So I'm going to basically just stay in and bring this thing down to as close as possible to death so I can just revenge kill it with my Heatran. He goes for a Calm Mind. Honestly, I think that was the worst move because if he had used two Hidden Power Grounds, he would have taken out Jirachi. But I think at this point, it really just didn't matter because even if he had taken me out, I could revenge kill this thing with Earth Power and then just bring in Heatran for the Explosion KO. So he's I pretty much have this game sealed. And even if he somehow did bring in Blissey and I was forced to explode early, I have Gengar, which could have revenge killed the Jirachi. So I really wasn't too worried at this point in time. So Hatsmaster takes down the Jirachi. Always left now with Bliss. And at this point, I'm just gonna Iron Head. And if I flinch, then good for me. If not, and he kills me, then I have Heatran, which will just explode all over in its face. So that's basically just going to be the end of the battle. And I do get the flinch. Like I said, it really didn't matter. So that's going to be the game. So good game, Sexy Melodic for the win. It's a ton of fun. If you guys like the battle, please rate, comment, subscribe. Check myself out. Check out Sexy Melodic out. And yeah, that's going to be all for today. Peace out, guys. Hope you enjoyed. And later.